Okay, shalom, shalom, kwam yasa'ala. Koholoyim la, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim, Kahakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, that by the Spirit taught us His beautiful truth. And just want to say Thawada to all the H.I.M and Akwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai to the best of their ability. Jachanan Nawaf just coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And wanted to touch on a couple of these deaths that's happened today. You got Jerry Springer and you got Carolyn Bryant, which was the accuser of, Emmit Till. And, hey, got to live a long life, lived out her life, in peace. But I'm sure when she got to her spirit went back to the spirit world, she was able to see like she was in trouble. but, hey, she's at peace right now until she's brought back down here, man, in chains, man, to go along with Jerry Springer. But anyway, let's get some of this. Let's see this one right here. Let me play this one.
Now to more breaking news as the white woman who accused black teen Emmit Till.
Now, see, he said the white woman that accused, Emmit Till. Now, see, they're not white. Look at this guy. This guy is almost the same color as the backdrop of that breaking news screen, or the same color as his tie. Now, his shirt is white. See, that's a huge lie that they've been telling about white. That social construct of white. They're not white people, man. These people are pinkish to reddish in color. And I want to get this scripture real quick. I'm just going to, as things pop up, I'm just going to kind of just scroll through it, man. As far as scriptures, whatever we see in the spirit, we just going to get it, right? Because this is something that has to be explained. Because people really think that there's a such thing, there's a ethnicity or a race of people that's white, and there's a race of people that's black, and that's not the case. Those are called social constructs. You see, social constructs, and you can look it up. I mean, I can actually look it up too, but it's called social constructs. No one's actually white. Nobody actually looks like a glass of milk, and no one's actually black. No one actually looks like a damn car tire, man. There's different shades of pinkish people, pinkish to reddish people, and there's different shades of brown people. But this is who the so-called white man is right here. Genesis chapter 25. Let me see. That's what I want. And I'm going to get back to the story. This is Genesis 25 and 25. And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. That's the biblical name for the so-called white man. Because see, two so-called black parents can get together, have sex, and they can actually produce what appears to be a so-called white child. Blonde hair, blue eyes, a whole nine. And that's what happened with Isaac and Rebekah when they had the twins. Jacob came out still looking brown like all the other people. But this man right here, he came out with his pigmentation gone, because that's the curse of Cain. This man is the wicked that the Bible speaks of, right? Now, let me see. This is where he got his other name. Verse 30, it says, and Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. And that word Edom, if you look over here in the NLT, it says Esau said to Jacob, I'm starved. Give me some of that red stew. This is how Esau got his other name, Edom, which means red. See that? So in these last days, the Lord is starting to pinpoint the so-called white man for who he really is. See, they've been hiding under that, they've been able to hide for a real long time, but this internet has not been good to them. This internet where you can just go and search for things now. You used to have to go to a library and research things for weeks and weeks and weeks at a time. Now you can just at the touch of your, as soon as you think of something, you can just say, hey, Siri, So the so-called white man is being put on blast for who he really is, man. And this is who he is. He's Esau Edom. He was gifted the sword, which is that modern day gun, the modern day nuclear weapon, the modern day bomb, your shotgun, your helicopters, your Navy ships, your aircraft carriers, all that type of shit. That man, he was gifted with the sword. That was one of the gifts that Isaac blessed him with, the fatness of the land. That's why he lives in the best of the places, and that he would live by the sword. That's the reason why he goes throughout the earth and he goes and he just takes everything by force because he has that military might to do so because they were blessed with that. But now we're living in the last days where, hey, that thing is starting to, hey, it's not looking good for them because it's the end of their time. This place must end, man. Their rulership must end because if it doesn't, nothing will survive. And this is a good example right here because you got her. She done died and passed away. And then I'm looking at Jerry Springer all in the same day. That's kind of like a, somewhat of an omen. Omen nomen. You know what I'm saying? A woman and man that pretty much died that, kind of just hate Israel, man. They hate Israel. They hate you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And we're going to get to Jerry Springer, but let me start this back again. I just wanted to point out that this woman was not white. She was a red woman. And her biblical nationality is Esau Edom. So just remember that.
More breaking news as the white woman who accused black teen Emmit Till of whistling at her back in 1955, leading to his lynching, has now died. Carolyn Bryant Donham had lived in Raleigh for several years. She'd been suffering from cancer and was receiving end-of-life hospice care. Okay.
And there you have it. Now, they had an arrest warrant out for this lady, but you think they went and got her? She was able to go ahead and just, live her life on out. You see? Let's see this one.
Have you noticed everything that follows?
Lock you for the commercial, whatever. We'll get to it straight in a sec here. But yeah, she was able to live out her life, man. They should have went and arrested her ass. But because it was a Jake, they weren't going to do that.
Accused 14-year-old Emmit Till of whistling at her and making sexual advances has died. Those claims made by Carolyn Bryant Donham led to Till's kidnapping and gruesome murder in 1955. A coroner's office in Louisiana says that she died in hospice care Tuesday night after suffering from cancer. She was 88 years old. Till's kidnapper and murderer his murder and the kidnapping became a catalyst, as you know, for the civil rights movement when his mother, Mamie Till Mobley, insisted on an open casket funeral after his brutalized body was pulled from that river in Mississippi. Donham had long insisted that she bore no responsibility for Till's murder, but civil rights activists and others called for her prosecution, accusing her of targeting Till.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for...
Okay, there you go. And they're not giving up the full story. And, Esau Edom, see, they're not going to really tell on themselves like that, but they do tell on each other now. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the scriptures. But, they try and be, when it comes to certain things, they try and be real slick about the information. If you were to go further off into this story, man, that lady should have been arrested. I think it was an actual warrant out for her arrest, man. But anyway, of course, let me get this Psalm 64:8. Because see, that internet, that TV, all this, see, they're losing the info wars. That's the problem with what's going on with them. They can't contain a narrative like how they used to before. They used to just throw Negroes on TV. Look at these monkeys. Look at these niggers. Look at how they act. But now, every time you look up, it's one of their kids on TV from shooting up a damn school, or shooting up a cathedral, or shooting up a concert, or, just doing all kinds of weirdo shit when we knew it all along, because they try and act like, say, for instance, if we're the population that they're saying that we are, if we're the minority, and we're only 12% of the population, then that would mean that at least 60 to 70, 75% of the population got to be them. So we couldn't possibly be out criming them. I mean, come on. I mean, per capita, you know what I'm saying? But they're the ones that's out here going up. The biggest bank embezzlements is going on. The biggest insurance heists are going on. You know what I'm saying? The biggest, you name it. When it comes to straight crime, the biggest drug dealers, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's them. But who do they use? Who do they put on TV to because they use Jake in that way. They use our people like, see, look at them. But that's all they'll show you of us. They're not going to show you, somewhere at a nice gathering with your family and everything is going just fine and everybody greets each other and hugs each other and kiss each other and, say goodbye to each other. They ain't going to show you that. All they're going to show you is news at 5. And this man, he shot and he done this and that's all they're going to show you about our people. Because that's a social construct. That goes with the social construct that they made up when it comes to black, man. But this is shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. See? They had to come out with that story. And they've been on it for a minute. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of stories that's starting to pop up and come out where it's like, well, damn. You so-called white people, man, y'all been terrorizing the fucking planet for quite some time. And especially when it comes to Negroes. Anyway, though, but this is what I wanted to get this one, too. Psalms chapter 73. And the reason why she was just able to just live her life on out. Let me start at verse 3. Psalm 73 and 3. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. And that's what it is with them, man. They are not in trouble as other men. Neither are they plagued like other men. Now, had that been a role reversal, had that been a so-called black woman, accused of so-called white man, and first off, if a so-called white man got beaten, shot, and and just body disfigured and all that shit by a group of so-called blacks, that would have been over with. That would have been handled way back then. This lady all of them was able to just go ahead and live out their lives, man. You see? Anyway, let's see what else. Was that it on that? Pretty much that was about it on that one. They probably damn commercial. Anyway, let's move to Jerry Springer. His ass.
Got some breaking news here out of the Midwest. Longtime talk show host Jerry Springer is dead at the age of 79. He hosted the Jerry Springer Show, kind of remade talk TV, on the air for 27 years. Before that, he was a news anchor in Cincinnati. He was also the mayor of Cincinnati in the late 70s. His family says he died peacefully from cancer at his home in Chicago. He was 79 years old, as I mentioned. I knew Jerry Springer when I was a young man. First came into the business at the age of 19.
Get your ass out of here. Anyway, they both died from cancer. His ass and her. And they have their own people to thank for it. But we do know that it's Yahweh Shem Yahushai. He's the one that kills and makes alive, according to Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 39. It's the Lord he's the one that kills and makes alive. He's the one that wounds and he's the one that heals. So we know that. But the so-called white man, he's the wicked that the Bible speaks of. This man flies through the air all damn day long, spraying whatever the hell is coming down on you. The food is horrible. Your water. This man is just he's just death, man. He's death. So they have their own people to thank for not being able to, live into the hundreds or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, the thing with Jerry Springer is I can remember this show. And this man, he made a fortune off of making you so-called blacks look stupid as hell. Because that's pretty much who made these shows. Even like your Maury Povich, these DNA Court TV shows, I can remember Ricky Lake, Jenny Jones, Maury Povich. Now they got the branch off to this guy's show was the Steve Wilco guy, the guy that used to be the security on Jerry Springer. His ass even got a show with Jacob. And then they started to kind of like show how wild the so-called white people are. You know what I'm saying? But they made a bulk of their money. The bulk of their shows was Jake, man. And it's still that way to this day. It's still that way to this day. All these talk shows, them little shows that you see, especially with Court TV and Paternity Court and all these old different. They don't do nothing but show put a bad light on you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. Matter of fact, let's get this, because that's one of the curses. That's actually one of the curses in Deuteronomy chapter 28 that's on our people. Yeah, Deuteronomy 28 and 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord Yahweh shall lead thee. And that's what we are to all the nations. When the so-called Chinese people see you, they got a whole way of talking about you. Japanese, all these nations. I don't give a fuck what nation it is. When they see you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, they have a whole totally disdain for you. They look at you like you are complete shit. But that's the part of the curses. But see, it's gonna come back to a point where, you know, we're gonna be brought back up to our rulership, and they're gonna be bowing to us, man. That's the beauty of the gospel. That's the beauty of the gospel. The Lord has come to get us out of the hands of our enemies, man. The so-called white man, he got his hands on the Bible. He whitewashed all the images. He changed everybody into white people, knowing full well that they don't have nothing to do with the scriptures like that. And the Apocrypha talks about how they whitewashed everything. So now they got everybody in the world thinking that they're the righteous, that they're the holy people of the scriptures, when in reality, they're the wicked. Look at the earth. Aren't they the ones that's running it? Let's get Job 9:24. They're the ones that's running the earth. You can't tell me, hey, these people are writing in the laws and they're pushing real heavy, you know, all kinds of bullshit to change your children, man. And you know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna keep it classy. It says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where, who is he? If this man is not the wicked, then who is? He covered the main face judge, which is the Father. You know, what they got that finger of God with the butt naked guy, the butt naked white guy. You know, and he's supposed to be God and he's touching fingers with some other butt naked white guy. Come on, man. You know, and then you put in, if you Google Jesus, you ain't gonna see nothing but so-called white men. If you Google Daniel, you can Google Moses, you can Google Samuel, you can Google Ruth, Esther, Mary, Joseph. You can Google disciples. You can Google any of those people that's in the scriptures. So they wouldn't have the image like how they pushed it. They're the ones that's in control of Google. They're the ones that's in control of DuckDuckGo. They're in control of Yahoo. They're in control of, you know what I'm saying, the media, your channel 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 that you see on TV and the shit that they give you. There's plenty of news out here, but what do they show you every night? The same old shit. Look at them niggers. Look at them niggers. Look at them. They could easily tort that just by showing you something good. But they give you the same news every day. That's why they call it a program. They program you into thinking that Jake is you know, these bywords, you know, and astonishment. That's what the so-called white man undone. But see, now people are starting to see, okay, you guys are the problem with the earth. Why do you think these nations are on you know, they're going with this brick situation where they're trying to get away from the dollar? You see? Because they understand that it's a so-called white man, mainly these ones in the Americas, that's fucking everything up throughout the earth. They're sanctioning everybody. If they're not getting along with you, they doing this, you know, and they just go to countries and destroy them, take all the minerals, take all the resources, set up a puppet government, and the whole earth is just nasty with them being in power, man. You can't get around it. And here you go. You got your boy Jerry Springer, a damn small hat. He's a small hat, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Let me see here. They may show it. Slovakia. Let's put in it's Jerry Springer, a small hatter. And I bet you he back in the spirit world too, like, oh my. Yep, he was born in London Tube Station in 1944 during a German bombing raid to parents, Richard and Margaret Springer, who were German, Jewish refugees from the Nazis, see? So you got another one bites the dust. Anyway, it doesn't matter anyway. We already know what it is, but if he was one of those people, why would he have such a silly ass show on for so long? With all that chaos on there. You know? Made a complete fortune off of another race of people. But they'll tell you, you say anything slight about them, you're anti. Right? Matter of fact, let me see something else. May not show up. I'm just going to put in there, Jerry Springer destroy black people's lives on this show. We'll see. We already know what's up. Man, I'm telling you, hey, I ain't going to even recommend you go back and watch any of these shows, though. But I can remember, man, hey, this damn show was a damn circus, man. Let me see what pops up. Probably nothing, but it's always worth a try. Yeah, hey. So yeah, he apologized. Let me see what he said. Cause he knew they probably ain't. Let me see what he said. It says the sounds of Jerry may still haunt Jerry Springer. The talk show host offered up an unexpected apology following the almost 3-decade run. Jerry Springer show during November 8th appearance on David Youtiff's Behind the Velvet Rope podcast. Springer said he was so sorry for how his show went on to Impact TV. I just apologize, he said. I'm so sorry. What I have done, I've ruined the culture. Now, yeah, you fucked a lot of people up. He then quipped, I just hope hell isn't that hot because I burn real easy. I'm very light complected. Now, you're a damn Edomite. That's why you burn real. That's why that sun tear y'all asses up because you don't have no melanin. But hell is not where you're going to because hell is a condition. Let's get this scripture. That's the spirit because I thought about that. Let's get this real quick. I think it's in Ecclesiastes. See, you're supposed to be a small hatter. You're supposed to know the scriptures. You're supposed to know that there's no such thing as hell on the ground. But you are coming back to this earth in chains. You're coming back to this. That's going to be your judgment, along with this lady that accused Emmit Till. You're both coming back in chains. That's going to be your punishment right here on this earth. That's where punishment goes down, under the sun, baby. Let's see. Yeah, Ecclesiastes 12:7. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was. That's what's about to happen with him. He's going to get probably that overnight burial. But, his corpse is going to turn back to dust. But let's see where his spirit is going to go. It says, and the spirit shall return unto Yahweh who gave it. So his spirit is back. Both of them is back in the spirit world. They're both back in the spirit world. They're at peace. But when their spirits are placed back into some bodies and they come back on this earth, and we're hoping that, our Lord come and that they will never be born back on this earth again, in this particular world, we want them to come back in the kingdom in chains on the other side. Because this place is through, man. I can't see it lasting enough generations where they're going to be able to be born back on earth in this human form right now. You know what I'm saying? Nah. Let me see, though. Because this is what's going to happen right here. See, judgment is under the sun. Judgment is right here on this earth. Heaven and hell is a condition. There's no such thing as there's a burning place under the earth with some white guy, so-called white guy with a pitchfork and a red spandex suit on with the gold tee and the horns, and he's just down there laughing, ha, 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 get in this fire. No, that's not in the scriptures, man. That's a fable. That is not in the Bible, nowhere. That purgatory and shit, that's all a bunch of science fiction, man. That shit is not in the scriptures. Let me see, that's Ecclesiastes 3:16. And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment. Where's the sun? In the sky. What's under the sun? The earth. That's where that judgment is going to come in at. heaven and hell as a condition. See, the so-called white man, they've been in their heaven for quite some time. They're like a millennial, man. They're living in their heaven right now. And guess where the Israelites are? You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. It has been complete hell living under this man's rulership, man. So there's going to be a role reversal. We're going to be on top. That's going to be our heaven when our Lord Yahushua comes, which the world ignorantly calls Jesus. We're going to be on top. And these heathen nations are going to be under us. That's going to be their hell. And we're going to give them some hell, buddy. We're going to put y'all through some things. Because you're going to have to pay for the things that you've done to us as a people. And see why Jerry was fucking apologizing. Don't get me wrong. It was some Edomites on there too on the show. There's some Edomites on the show too. But they made the bulk of their money off of having the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans on that show. And mainly the so-called blacks. Right? It says, and moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. You see? But the place of judgment is right here on this planet, man. That's why, the scriptures talks about that third to fourth generation, man. Let me see. That third or fourth, you come back here, man, you get that judgment in your third or fourth generation. Let me see here. That's it right here. Let's go into this Exodus 34. Let me start from verse 6. Exodus 34 and 6. And Yahweh passed by before him and proclaimed, Yahweh, the Lord, Yahweh, merciful and gracious, long-suffering, and abundant in goodness and truth, keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgressions and sin, and that will by no means clear the guilty. He's not about to clear Jerry Springer, nor any Edomite. He's not about to clear, because they're all guilty. He's not about to clear the guilty, man, of the so-called white man. He's not about to clear the guilty of our people, the 2/3. It says, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, and upon the children's children, unto the third and to the fourth generation. Because the children's children, that ain't nothing but you coming back. That sperm that's in the male sac, when he has a child, that child has a child, that child has a child, that's still that man, basically. It's just an ongoing of regeneration. Then in the third to fourth generation, you come back here, you get judgment, but you don't remember. You know what I'm saying? Because the scripture talks about there's no remembrance. Let me see. You don't remember it, but and that's a beautiful thing too. Just imagine coming back here every other third or fourth generation, and you remember all the other lives that you lived. That shit would be chaotic for you. Yeah, Ecclesiastes 1 and 11. There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. See that? Hey, man. Hey, the Lord is cold, man. The Lord will bring you right back here with no remembrance. But once you go back to the spirit world, I'm willing to bet you. This is me speaking as a man. But we see what the scriptures say. Your spirit goes back to the Lord. You know? Now, let's see. It's in Job. What is that? Job. What is that? Let me slack you. Give me a moment here. Okay, so this is Job. And Job, basically, you know what I'm saying? He was kind of on that tip, man, because Job was going through hell. But let me start at verse 9. This is Job 3 and 9. It says, let the stars of twilight thereof be dark. Let it look for light, but have none. Neither let it see the dawning of day, because it shut not the doors of my mother's womb, nor hid sorrow from mine eyes. Why died I not from the womb? So he like, man, look, man, hey, Job was going through it though. It says, why did I not give up the ghost when I came out of the belly? Why did the knees prevent me? Or why the breast that I should suck? For now should I have lain still and been quiet. I should have slept. Then had I been at rest. See? So there's no such thing as you just going somewhere and you're burning forever. You know what I'm saying? That's not scriptural. It says, with kings and counselors of the earth, which built desolate places for themselves, or with princes that had gold, or filled their houses with silver. Or as in hidden untimely birth, I had not been, as infants which never saw light. There, now check it out. This is the point. There the wicked cease from troubling, and there the weary be at rest. See? The weary is at rest there, man. It says, there the prisoners rest together. They hear not the voice of the oppressor. The small and great are there, and the servant is free from his master. Wherefore is light given to him that is in misery, and life unto the bitter in soul, which long for death, but it cometh not, and dig for it more than for hid treasures, which rejoice exceeding, and are glad when they can find the grave. But basically it's telling you that, hey, the people are basically at peace when they go, back to the spirit world, man. See? Let me get that back again. It says, there the wicked cease from troubling, and there the weary be at rest. There the prisoners rest together. They hear not the voice of the oppressor. The small and great are there, and the servant is free from his master. See? So that's where your spirit goes back to the Lord. And then comes judgment. It takes a while, you know what I'm saying? But hey, these people, Jerry Springer and this lady that that accused Emmit Till, they're coming right back on earth, and they're going into hardcore slavery. And let me just get this last one before I get out. Let's just get that. They're coming back, man. This is the real true gospel, man. Revelation 13. Let's start at verse 9. It says, if any man have an ear, let him hear. That means, hey, if you got some understanding, then you can understand what the scriptures I brought out. But some people not going to get that. They like, oh man, forget that. Ain't going to happen. It says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. This is what's coming for the whole so-called white race, which are Edomites. Esau, Edom, man. And for the small hatters, because they're the top tribe of Esau, Edom. That's coming for him. That's just a plain flat truth, man. You see what I'm saying? But see, Jerry Springer, he was just used just like that woman was. They played their part. They played their part in the movie. And this apology that he gave, hey, it ain't gonna make no difference. Because the Lord requires that which is past. Matter of fact, I was intending to get that one too. We can end out there. Yeah, man. They're not getting away with this. I seen that. And then as I'm looking at the brother that was doing a video on Jerry Springer, the news flash popped up with her ass on there. I was like, call all you y'all about Shemel Shai, man. Ecclesiastes 3 and 15. Salakia. Ecclesiastes 3 and 15. It says, that which has been is now, and that which is to be hath already been, and Yahweh requireth that which is past. See? That's a whole nother, that's another lesson, man. That reincarnation, that regeneration. Oh, your ass coming back here. You coming back. But they coming back in chains, man. They're coming back in chains. Hey, so with that, hey, I pray that the lesson was edifying. Hey, so two more of them bite the dust. With that, Kwame Shalom.